GameSwap Mason. My name's Taylor Gunn. I'm here with the handsome John Douglas.
The handsome
John Douglas. When I selected this match, I did not realize Jake Valentine was on Storm. I thought he was on some sort of green variant.
Does this change things? Do you think this is a bad matchup now?
I thought we would be watching a different style of matchup, but I'm into this matchup. I like this.
Sure. Probably going to see a lot of this matchup this weekend.
Agreed. I think this Storm deck is definitely on the horizon, heading inland.
Yeah, it got a big boost from Opt.
Did they find the optimal? I didn't mean to do that.
Got him.
Did they find the opt list that people like?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a lot of debate before Opt actually became legal as to like whether you still want just the sleight of hand or whether you want Opt. The correct answer was
Porque no los dos.
let's run everything.
Right?
12 cantrips.
Yeah, I just don't know where they found the slots. I guess they shaved on Goblin Electromancers.
They went down to 2 Electromancers. They cut empty the warrens out of the main.
Okay. Yeah, because with the gifts package, you don't really need that many actual win conditions.
Right. So the empty the warrens is very good against discard heavy decks.
Yeah.
Because you don't need nearly as many to go the distance. Rather, you don't need nearly as high a storm count to go the distance.
Right. Hey, just a quick shout out. How many regulars we got in the chat tonight? I got a question for the regulars.
For the regs?
I don't know about you guys out there in Stream World, but my sound levels tonight are just A1.
A1
Are your
steak sauce.
Are your sound levels perfect?
My own personal sound level is always perfect. My internal monologue, always there, comforting me,
soothing you,
telling me it'll be okay.
Yeah, I know. Just sometimes my headphones, specific areas are loud. And I don't know.
Specifically, this area is really.
Well, no. Sometimes we can hear the table more than I can hear myself, and sometimes I can hear you more than I can hear myself.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre.
Well.
It's very much like my dreams that you haunt. All right, so both players are going to lead off here with some one mana deck manipulation. Jake with sleight of hand and Victor with opt.
Jake also has an opt. Now, determining when the best time to play any given cantrip is going to be very crucial to how these decks play out. So Jake has 3 different types of cantrips. All of them are similar, but different enough to where you'll want to be able to sequence them properly.
Sure.
Looks like Victor has a turn 2 Thought Scour.
Yep. I want to shout out, both of them played the best versions of their card too. Jake with the sleight of hand from Portal.
Yeah, it's definitely the only acceptable sleight of hand.
And Victor Kurz playing the old school opt from Invasion.
It's definitely the worst.
Oh, you don't like that as much as the pirate opt?
Yeah, I mean, they're both pirate ops if we're going to be real.
Does the Invasion one have a pirate on it?
It's got Hannah on it, right? Basically a pirate.
She's more of an explorer. I mean, calling her a pirate's like calling Captain Picard a general. They're explorers. They have a different kind of mission. And here's a fish on a mission. Turn 2 Gurmag Angler.
That is definitely a mission, is to turn this Gurmag Angler. What? Yes, the pirates are explorers in Ixalan. I'm assuming that's what that word is.
No, pirates in Ixalan are pirates, man. They're after that booty.
Have you seen Hannah? Come on. But no, it's they're explorers too.
Okay. So what this?
I think it's more the vampires that are explorers. They're conquistadors.
No, they're oppressors if they're conquistadors.
Well, yeah, but they're also explorers.
So this Gourmet Angler is going to bring up a clock on Jake Valentine.
Yeah, very
And
fast clock.
we're going to find out how quickly this Storm Deck can go off. It looks like he has an Echoing Truth in his hand, which is going to buy him some amount of time here.
No Echoing Truth.
Nope, I lied. Lied to y'all.
Double gifts, though. Jake needs a third land real bad.
Yes. He's got this opt. I would have opted. I'm wondering if the correct choice is to take the opt because he can't do anything without a third land. And so if you just narrow that path.
That's tough, because if he top decks the third land here, you're just dead.
Are you straight up dead?
Yeah, I think you need to take the Baral.
Yeah, but he has redundancy in every other way. He has the Electromancer to be redundant with the Baral.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, so Victor's going to take the Baral. He's going to agree with you on that one. It's probably right. I mean, it's just tough. Here's a Shadow, a 1/1 Shadow. And the opt puts the card right into Jake's hand. I don't know. He might have known. That's why he just didn't opt.
Sure.
Did he know if did he
Here we go, announces Jake. Oh, he's got his adorable little storm cards. Storm count 1.
All right.
Storm count 2. Storm count 3. I'm going to do this the whole night. We're going to have nothing but...
Storm
Yeah.
Storm decks on camera.
Storm count 4.
All right, so here's the gifts ungiven. Step 1. Gifts ungiven for a bunch of things to put in the graveyard.
So we need some rituals. So it's going to be ritual, Manamorphose, in all likelihood, and then whatever else he gets, he's probably just going to get to hand.
Well, no, you get to put your win condition in the graveyard because he already has the Past in Flames in hand.
Sure.
So if he puts the win condition in the bin, he gets to Past in Flames it back. But if he doesn't, he gets to cast it and then Past in Flames it back, which is even bigger deal.
Yeah, I mean, we're already at Storm count 4. He's got 3... He's got 2 cards that we can very easily flash back with Past in Flames.
I don't think he needs another one. He does need to figure this out, though.
Yeah,
right.
he did the right thing. He's
So
got
he gets
3 rituals, well, 2 rituals of Manamorphose, which is basically a ritual at this point.
All right, so now he's got to play out. Oh, does he have to go find another ritual here?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he was a mana short from being...
Oh, how good is that?
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But, I mean, he's at a point where he kind of had to just go for it. He couldn't let Victor untap and take apart his hand even more. Not to mention the clock he would have to endure. He does need another mana.
I'm wondering if his best play here is to just grape shot Victor's board, untap, and get Past in Flames, and then recast it, and then do it out of his graveyard again.
He would need a 4th land for that.
Because he has another gifts in hand.
Sure. Yeah, he ideally would have taken another turn to set this one up. You can't really count on that gift staying in your hand either. Or even this Electromancer to survive. I mean, you're playing against Grixis Death Shadow. They have a lot of discard. They have a lot of single target removal. Odds that this thing sticks around are pretty slim.
Yep. God, if he just had one more mana here, he would really be able to... He'd be able to complete this.
Oh, yeah. So now we can send 8 of these at Victor, and then the last one of this Death Shadow, which is totally reasonable.
Yes, the one targeting the Death Shadow resolves first.
Right. But did we just play that Electromancer? I think we just played the Electromancer. Yeah, he was still short of mana there because he had the mana to fire off the Passion Flames, but not to cast the first ritual in the yard.
And if he had 8 grape shots, he only had 6 toughness of creatures on the board. He should have aimed some of them at Victor, but if he didn't, I mean, that's up to...
He had 8. He didn't aim them at Victor, so, I mean, that's what he did. Honestly, with him being at 13... I think you can leave the Gurmag Angler alive.
Yes, I would agree. Pushing the Electromancer, and now Jake is back into setup territory.
He's got a Baral in hand.
But
that's not bad. I don't know that I would cast it right now.
So if you cast a Baral...
I think I might just pass here.
So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, because if he leaves a Baral in hand, Victor can make him discard it.
Right.
If he casts it, Victor can kill it.
Correct.
I would think we would leave it in hand because that strands the kill spells, and it would make Victor put a choice between the Baral and the spells.
The gifts I'm given specifically.
If he were to cast like a Thoughtseize here.
Victor has a Snapcaster in hand, which would have been able to push this Baral. Instead, though, we're just going to have...
Yeah, here's the Thoughtseize that I predicted.
Still had all this. You got to take the... Well, I mean, there's definitely an argument for taking the Past in Flames, but, man, that Gifts is going to be so good. So you take the Past in Flames here. It's more expensive to flash back.
Right. If Jake hits a land, though, I think he gets to go off. Nope.
No land, but this Remand is very good with a Brawl out. And
Agreed.
especially with Victor so low on resources there. Stuck on just the 2 lands. Let's see what he's got here. He really wants to top deck a land and fire off this Lily. That would really take control of this game.
Well, anything he plays is getting remanded.
Well, now, yeah.
The Baral is going to allow Jake to loot a card when this remand resolves. He's going to draw the card from remand first and then loot a card. So that's a lot of filtering to go 2 additional cards deep.
Rusar.
Yeah, you just remand this anyway.
Yeah.
You just manned it again.
Rusar. So if you target Victor with Grape Shot, it does make subsequent Death Shadows bigger, but because Storm puts copies on the stack, it just doesn't deal a flat amount of damage. You can have the last copy target the Death Shadow, and it would just ping it for 1 and then kill it while all the other copies are still on the stack. Did he not cast this Gifts Ungiven?
Oh, the remand didn't resolve. It got
countered. Gifts got countered. Okay. So we're going to go on to game 2 here. Jake top decked the Past in Flames there and was able to take it down as a result.
Oh.
He didn't even really need it. He could have flashed back the Past and Flames. It would have been the same result.
Sure.
So what kind of Storm Hate do you think Victor has up his sleeve?
That's a great question. Nile Spellbomb?
Yeah, graveyard removal does play a pretty big part in this.
Just beat up this deck pretty good. I think you leave all the discard in.
Mm-hmm.
Terminate's probably not as good.
Yeah.
That might be where I start shaving. But if you put a strong clock on this deck and then have a Nile Spellbomb or make them discard at the right time,
right,
you can be really ahead. I mean, you obviously want to cast a spell every turn, but I think your turn 3 going into their turn 4 or whatever turn that looks like before their turn 4, you want to cast as many discard spells as possible. Like if I would rather back-to-back discard spells on my turn 4 before their turn 4, whatever, than cast them on 1 and 2, because then they have chances to draw out of it or to opt and sleight of hand appropriately.
Right. Most notably, this Storm deck now with the added consistency from the cantrips is looking more and more like a turn 3 or a 3-turn clock.
Sure.
So you might want to fire this off a little bit earlier. Turn 2 or 3, draw dependent, obviously.
I'm just saying your timing changes a little bit once you know what you're playing against.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying you're underestimating the timing of this Storm deck.
I probably am.
Yeah, it can be very, very consistently turn 4, but you can get a lot of kills on turn 3.
Sure.
As for the Storm deck, you got to know what type of hate to expect.
Yeah.
You've got Echoing Truths, Shattering Sprees in the board.
Yep.
As answers to specific hate cards. Neither is going to do particularly well against Nile Spellbomb, although either can get around a Nile Spellbomb, just not too optimally.
I'd be interested in like a Spell Pierce.
Spell Pierce. So the issue with Spell Pierce is that it can be stranded in your hand.
Sure.
That's also the issue with Shattering Spree and why Echoing Truth is still in there.
Right.
Because Echoing Truth will always have a target.
Sure.
Not always, obviously, but in most cases.
You said always. We'll need to it.
All right. I'm all in. Echoing Truth always has a target. If you have 2 mana and an Echoing Truth, there will be a target.
You'll find something to do with it.
Yeah. There's always something to do with an Echoing Truth. Just like there's always money in the banana stand.
Yeah, what's a banana cost? Like $10?
Bananas are not $10. I don't know if anybody out there has bought a banana recently. Pretty cheap.
Are they still 88 cents a pound?
Something like that.
Okay.
And a pound of bananas is like 40 bananas or something ridiculous.
Crazy.
You can get a crazy amount of bananas for $1. If only banana toast were as good as avocado toast.
Millennials would have ruined it. It really is astounding when you think about where how far a banana travels to get to our grocery stores here in Ohio.
Yeah.
That we're still only paying 88 cents a pound.
There is a long and sordid tale about why that is.
Absolutely.
And it is.
I agree. It is not good.
It is not good. There's nothing good about it. So I'm gonna leave it to preserve my good mood here.
Oh, you're in a good mood?
I'm in a great mood. I'm always in a great mood. Tuesday nights. Get to watch some Modern. Get to see my personal hero, Jake Valentine, on stream.
Oh, I was fishing for a compliment there, but okay. No pep talk for me tonight. Jake Valentine with the sleight of hand on turn 1. Victor with a fetch into a Thought Scour. Doesn't get much better. Gets a basic here, which is notable. Normally this deck might want to take some damage, and we're just being written a novel.
Yeah, we'll read that one in between whatever.
But he needs to hit enter because it's Notepad, not a word processor.
Just let it go, man.
So it doesn't. Anyway, here's 2 damage.
2 damage to Victor. So this is why this Storm matchup is so strange for Grixis Death Shadow. Because so much of your deck is dedicated to dealing damage to yourself. And every time you deal a damage to yourself, that's one less spell that they have to cast, one less storm count that they need. And the lower you require that storm count to be, the better it's going to end up. You'll see Piece of the Puzzle here is a solid sideboard card. Great against these discard heavy decks.
Here's the Spell Pierce that I talked about. Is that what that is?
Nope.
Or is that the other one? Is that the one that only counters? It's in Spell.
Dispel.
Dispel.
Dispel. Not that spell.
This one.
This one. So we've got Dispel, Remand. I guess Dispel's in there because he's expecting to have to fight through some counter spells, which is very reasonable. Stubborn Denial is a mainstay in Grixis Death Shadow these days. Shoutouts Jason Morgan. Not a lot of good choices here. There's a lot of redundancy. Not a really great hand. This is what you were talking about, where he's thought seizing, I think, a little too early.
Yep.
And Jake's hand isn't fully formed yet.
No, it's still in its. Ooh.
Oh.
This is a card that is very good. This card is going to blank Past in Flames because cards can't be cast from graveyards. So he's going to have to deal with this thing before he goes off. This is a Grafdigger's Cage. It's in foil. It's from Dark Ascension, not from the Modern Masters set.
Interesting that we're opting here. I understand he wanted to keep Remand up, but this probably not the optimal turn to do so.
Don't do... Oh. Are you sure?
I was going to do it anyway.
Neither was I.
All right, so 3 mana for Jake. Looks like we're going to start off with a sleight of hand. Still needs to build this hand up a little bit.
Off the Spire Bluff Anal.
Hopefully he brought in some Echoing Truth to deal with this Grafdigger's Cage. Otherwise, he's going to need to do a lot of setup here.
I think he just found it.
Pretty sure he just found the Serum Visions.
Well, only one of us can be right. Actually, and both of us can be wrong, actually.
He has the Serum Visions in hand right now, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
He may have scryed an Echoing Truth to the top. I'm not sure.
All right, so Jake's going to sit back on Remand here.
Not a bad plan. If Victor's willing to not cast anything on his turn 3, then remanding something on turn 4 has got to be insane, right?
Yeah.
Remand also so good against these delve spells, which account for the majority of Victor's threats.
Yeah, because once that cost is paid, those cards are gone, and he's got to set that whole thing back up again.
Gone, baby, gone. Victor down to 11.
Little Fatboy Slim reference there. I'm quite impressed. Gone, baby, gone.
Yeah, if this is an angler, it's just completely bonkers. If Victor's smart here, he'll cast the... Because he saw the Remand. He can pay 4 and remove 4 to cast the angler. Or is it move 3? It's 6 and a black, right? For angler, is it 7 and a black?
It's 6 and a black. It's a total of 7.
Right.
It's one more than Tasker, and Tasker's 6.
Okay.
Total, so... There it is.
There's the angler removing 5. Man, he knows about this Remand too. So even if you have the counterspell backup, this is just not good. And he doesn't.
Yeah, no, just lets
Maybe he just forgot
just
about
lets
it.
himself get remanded.
Don't forget about remand, people.
Write that down. All right.
4 mana. Haven't gotten a real good look at Jake's hand. He only needs a storm count of 10, and that's very doable. I won't say it's very easy, but it's very doable without use of the graveyard. You're not under any pressure, though, so there's no reason to really not take another turn of setup here. You've got the Seer Visions.
This is one lesson I remember from learning to play combo decks, is that you don't have to... Just because you can combo doesn't mean you have to.
Right.
Why not? Why go off with no backup when you could, take 2 or 3 additional turns and sculpt an even better hand? Maybe have 1 or 2 additional cards in it.
And talk about a better hand. Jake drew a Pyretic Ritual and then scryed a Desperate Ritual to the top. Now, because he knows that top card is gas, he can fire off a Manamorphose and draw into
the gas.
Really wants a creature here, a bear, to reduce the cost, but you know what? We have enough rituals, we can go off without it. Up to 4 red mana.
See, this is still very
The mana neutral Manamorphose, much less insane than the
mana positive Manamorphose if we were to have an Electromancer, etc. in play. Another ritual.
Draws the ritual. He knew it was there. Now it's important for Jake to keep this at least 1 blue mana up for this Dispel. So we're at a storm count of 5.
I'm not sure what his goal is here.
If he would have kept that remand, this would be insane, but
I mean, I got a storm count of 6, and
we're just gonna keep drawing gas, no biggie.
There's 7. So I'm not sure. Oh jeez.
Draws on the Past in Flames. Not gonna do anything.
We've got 5, 6 mana up. Or is it 5?
We have 5 mana plus an untapped land. So 6 total.
Yeah, he would have to tap the land and go shields down to cast this Past in Flame and then cast another spell after it.
Yeah, so he can go up to 9 and get Victor down to 2.
He can't actually do anything because
he can cast the Past in Flames.
Oh, sure.
And then he can cast the Grape Shot. I mean, but he's only going to deal
Victor to 2? That's
9
good.
damage to Victor, and that doesn't seem great.
That's the big...
Yeah, he fired this one off a little prematurely. He had time.
Yeah, Victor's not forcing him into any situation here. And it's not like the graveyard is removed from the game, so he could always...
He might not have brought in the Echoing Truth. Like, that might be the issue here.
So,
But again, he's not under any pressure. He's still at 20.
I can't imagine him not bringing in. All the best graveyard hate cards are permanents.
Yeah.
And so, Echoing Truth or whatever here is always going to be good. Everybody's going to have some form of graveyard hate.
So now Jake needs a spell. I believe he just top decked a Grape Shot. Oh man, here comes Lily. Lily getting rid of Jake's hand is pretty good here.
Yep, not a bad one. Oh, is Grape Shot an instant?
Yep. He doesn't have the creature for this. Why doesn't he just pay it? Just not paying it. Well, sometimes your outs are your opponent not knowing what cards do.
Sometimes reading too difficult for your opponent.
Jeez Louise.
All right, Louise. Yeah, he just says go to 1. Man, Jake just wanted more time in the sun.
He did just want more time in the sun. And at this... So he needs to draw into... Needs to draw into a grape shot here at some point.
Yeah. I don't think he has another one. He's played 2. Does the list go up to 4? Or 3 total?
I think it's 3 in the main. In some lists. Some lists run the full 4.
I guess he's got outs. Victor just got to keep this right, keep it tight.
Yeah, grape shot's also a sorcery. So it shouldn't have been.
Oh, did he cast it? Oh man! So not only is he bad, he's just trying to cheat.
Yeah, this is clearly Jake is out of his range
out
here.
of his element here.
Yeah, he's not playing forests. Apparently.
Apparently, Jake's finding out the card type of grape shot.
Yeah, grape shot's getting a lot of attention here from Jake. Clearly, he's not very familiar with this deck. Not piloting it very well, but I think it requires way more thought than he's used to.
Yes, the deck is very precarious.
I think the most thought Jake has ever had to put into playing a game of Magic is whether or not to spend 3 energy on a Thopter token.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally, you do.
Generally, you do.
Generally, just make the Thopter token.
Yeah, I think it's pretty regular you make the Thopter token, unless you also have a Bristling Hydra out and you want to protect
or
it.
in hand that you need to. Because if you don't have any energy and you play that card, there's a chance for them to instant it down.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
Woo!
Woo!
Jake saying it all worked out in the end. It didn't. He should have won that game, but instead he was dumb.
Right.
A little,
Instead he was a little aggressive.
He pulled the trigger a little quickly.
Jake's lucky. He's talking about the replays. He's lucky he's the one that puts the replays together.
I don't think he does.
Oh, is that Nelson's job?
Well, I don't know.
All right, so we got game 3 here. We got 17 minutes.
Yeah.
I hope Jake learned his lesson.
He didn't. I guarantee he didn't.
You guarantee he's going to go off half-cocked again?
I guarantee he thinks it was just bad beats.
All right. Let's hope not. Let's hope he realizes, like, oh, I could have waited.
Yeah.
There was no pressure on him there. That's a tough lesson. I forget what combo deck it was that I first played.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a deck, and I was just like, trying to jam it every time I had it.
All right, here we go.
Did not understand it to be just. All right, Jake's gonna go back to 6 here.
At least we don't have to enroll him into Mulligan Academy. At least he's learned that lesson.
Yeah. At least, at the minimum.
The bare minimum. He's
bare
graduated from.
necessities.
I'm not doing that. No, we're not playing that game. We're not playing the Jungle Book game tonight, man.
No Jungle Book.
No Jungle Book in tonight.
Jungle Book 'em, Dano. So we have this thing at the salon when the phone rings.
Oh, jeez.
If you want appointments, like if you're like trying to stay and do work,
Yeah.
the phone rings and somebody else goes to answer it, you just yell, "Buck 'em, Dano." We think that's hilarious. There's some salon humor for you guys out there. If you wonder what's so funny in this salon
humor. Yeah.
there you go. Holy smokes.
Getting a little bit of feedback here.
Getting a little bit. That's okay. It's just me dancing around. You'll put my connection better here. Thank you so much.
All right, let's see if we got better sixes for these guys.
Let's see if we can get 60. All right, this hand is much better. It looks like we have an
empty the Warrens, which is good. He needs some rituals, but he's got some cantrips to set it up. And he'll be on the play here, which is a big deal.
I like Serum Visions to lead.
Well, he knows what's on top, so if he definitely wants that card on top, then Serum Visions is amazing.
Oh, he leaves them both on top.
Man, that's savage. This is going to be a quick game if Victor doesn't have some interaction. Street race
down.
Not the kind of interaction we're looking for.
Wouldn't even label it interaction in general.
Well, I guess not.
Might be a bit of a misnomer there. All right, here's another Serum Visions. He knows what this card is. Looks at Ritual Sleight of Hand. You can't,
Desperate Ritual Sleight of Hand.
You can't keep the Sleight of Hand up there like you're done. Like, I don't know what else you want in life. But, like, leaving the Sleight of Hand up there just doesn't do anything for you.
So, it depends. If he has a third land in hand, then he can use the Sleight of Hand to dig 2 to try and find, like, the 4th land if he needs it. Because he's got 2 rituals in hand. The third ritual into this Goblin, or Empty the Warrens, is going to be a big game next turn.
Right. That's enough goblins that you could spread wide enough and kill them.
Yeah, especially since Victor's going to be trying to damage himself here.
Right.
I didn't catch exactly how he put these 2 cards back, but I'm pretty sure there's a Desperate Ritual on top right now.
You're correct.
All right, so now we're going to slight. I would bring that Storm Counter up here.
Oh, we're looking at 2 copies of Sleight of Hand.
The old double slight. Apparently he's content to slide again.
Oh, man. All right,
Desperate Ritual, another Empty the Warrens.
You just keep the ritual. Or, I guess, depending on how happy you are with the size of the Warrens, you would take the Warrens so that if Victor were to Thoughtseize you, whatever, you've got this backup plan.
Right. If you were happy with the size of the Warrens, I think you would cast the Warrens that turn. Because the early you fire off like 6 goblins, the better.
Right.
I think he might just be, because Victor didn't play anything on turn 2, he might be thinking that Victor just doesn't have
any interaction. All right. Victor's hand has to be very poor here.
I mean, he has a Stubborn Denial. I don't see what else. But, I mean, you have to pull the trigger here. The timing is just too good. You have the Dispel backup. He's just passing the turn back, which doesn't really accomplish anything.
So this is a different situation. See, last game he could have sat back because he didn't have the win for sure.
Right.
But in this situation, he has a setup.
Yeah, so on this turn...
He should have dispelled this card.
Well, Dispel only counters instants. If he would have triple ritualed into double Warrens on his turn... I mean, what in the world is going to beat that for 3 mana? Like, are you expecting Infest?
Yeah, like Tremor.
Yeah, I mean...
Is Tremor a legal card?
Sometimes you just got to fire them off, buddy.
Yeah. So we're seeing here the texture of this Storm deck. It's got a lot of things to think about other than can I go off? That's not the only question the deck is asking. You got to ask, is it prudent?
Is it prudent? The chat wants to know, what if Victor just got him with an Is It Staticaster? Then he just gets him with an Is It Staticaster.
Yeah, Is It Staticaster will be the out. Well done, chat. You got us on there.
You can't play around that.
But he's missed his 3rd land drop twice now, I think.
Yeah. And
So
the
unless
more,
he's sandbagging the land and the Izzet Staticaster on the soul read for Empty the Warrens,
the longer
then,
you
like,
take to do it, the more chances you give him at finding the Izzet Staticaster as well.
sure.
This was never going to be a hand that could beat an Izzet Staticaster.
Oh, jeez. Holy
So now we're just going to go
holy
off.
smoke in the water.
Now we're going off. Okay.
Now it's ready. 3.
Yeah, there's infinite things that could kill him. I don't think Rakdos Charm would even kill Jake. I mean, he's going to end up here with a bajillion goblins. But I don't think it's going to be 18.
There's 4 mana.
Could be.
Five mana. There we go. Get it up there. Do it again.
Here we go. Let's empty some Warrens. Here's a bunch of goblins.
8 goblins.
Passes the turn. I'm going to leave this to spell up,
So he's got...
I guess.
He left a red in the pool.
So his only cards are Dispel and Empty the Warrens, which is fine. Like, if you did this 2 turns ago, then you have these 8 and you can rebuild a hand. Or, I'm sorry, if you did this last turn, you have 8 and then you can rebuild a hand for the second Empty the Warrens if he has an answer.
Yep.
But right now, this is a turn 2 clock. Victor gets 2 untap steps. Maybe a third, depending on what he draws.
Here's the thing. He's gonna fire off this fatal push.
Yeah, you're going to kill one of these with
It
the
buys
fatal
you
push.
a whole turn.
It does.
I'm just saying.
Unless he top decks like a grape shot or something like that. But
Right. Yeah, Victor has to work hard here to stay in this game. He's got to figure out the best line to get his mana online and then to cast.
I don't know what's in his hand that he's expecting to do anything here.
Yeah, it's not an Izzet Staticaster for sure. Let's see if he has one in the deck. Have you seen one?
I haven't seen one on this search, but I'm pretty sure he's got one in the sideboard.
There's one in the 75 for sure.
I would be very surprised if he didn't bring in the one.
If he
out of
didn't
the
have,
board.
he's been playing this deck quite a bit, so I'm sure he understands the sideboard plan.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He's still mulling over what land he's going to get here. He had a Blood Crypt pulled to the side. May opt for a Steam Vents instead. Might just be a Water Grave. He has announced that he's going to 13.
All right.
Really thinking this one over.
Working hard at it.
He doesn't want to drop this game to a Storm player that doesn't know what the heck they're doing.
Nothing's worse.
But he's about to.
I'll tell you what, nothing tilts me like that.
Yeah.
Like when somebody's just playing like your best matchup, but they, well, I don't really play a lot of Modern. My friend let me borrow this deck, and then they just
Right.
like hurdle you through the game. You're just like, oh, just want to jump out the window. I would say that's the hardest part about Modern is keeping your emotions together through your worst matchups. Like, that's why I can't play large Modern tournaments.
Every time
You get me in the
somebody drops some Tron on me, I'm just like, oh my god, kidding me.
yeah.
All right, so he's opted for the Blood Crypt. I think we might see a Fatal Push Gurmag Angler here.
Yeah.
That still gives him an extra turn.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
There's no point.
This is aggressive.
What's the point?
Taking a dispel. I mean, maybe it's just playing his outs
Do
here.
you just have to resolve? Or is he trying to create a situation where Jake can't attack him because he gets him on the swing back?
I mean, Jake's at 18. That's never going to happen. So this is 7. So you take 6, you go to 5. Kill one of his guys. No, this is, yeah, 7. And you go to 4. Kill one of his guys. He can't even name his rituals right. Alright, so we get 4 more goblins.
It's the second set of goblins. We've changed the art. Good for us.
This was
So Victor needs this to be both
excessive.
an island and a... Is it Staticaster? Nope.
He might have been playing for the Teamer Battle Rage out.
Oh, sure.
Could have been a thing. But either way,
Yeah,
that lasted way
might
too
have been
long.
Victor's thought process there.
Yeah. Blame Jake for that round going forever. We'll be back here in about 5 minutes for round 2.
Yep.
See you soon.
God bless.